There are two kinds of pedestrians, the quick and the dead. That's by Thomas Dewar. Now, that might sound like a shocking quote to begin a podcast, but it's deadly serious and necessary. In 2021, there are nearly 7,500 pedestrian deaths in the United States, equivalent to roughly 20 deaths each day. Let me repeat that. In 2021, there were nearly 7,500 pedestrian deaths, roughly equivalent to 20 deaths each day. It's a major part of a growing problem which has seen a steadily increasing trend of pedestrian deaths. More and more, both drivers and pedestrians are distracted. It's been well documented that drivers are distracted by their devices, leading to a rise in traffic crashes. Distractions are the number 3 causes of pedestrian fatalities. Now, the number 1 cause is speeding. The number 2 cause is failure to yield. As a pedestrian, we have no control over those 2 factors. So let's learn what we can do on the roads to stay safe and put these safety practices into action. Taking precautions is a must when walking. Let's face it, you're most likely walking in your neighborhood, and whether it's urban, suburban, or rural, a good deal of the time you'll be walking on or very near a road. Also, you may find yourself walking at night or walking in uncrowded, isolated areas. Fact, nearly 70% of all pedestrian accidents happen at night. So don't become a statistic. Before you head out on your next walk, put these 22 walking safety tips into practice. One of them may save your life. Now let me repeat with this in mind. Remember, there are 2 kinds of pedestrians, the quick and the dead. And later in this episode, I'll tell you how you can download the first 3 insights and logbook pages from my walking logbook journal. So let's get started. And the main topic in today's podcast is safety first. As I talked about in the opening, taking precautions is a must when walking. So let's learn these 22 walking safety tips and begin putting them into practice. And number 1, walk facing traffic. If you remember only one lesson from this entire podcast, please let it be this one. If you walk on the side of the road, you must face into oncoming traffic. You need to see what's approaching you in order to avoid serious injury. When you walk facing traffic, drivers can see you and you can see them. As you get out and walk more and more, you will get a general sense of what drivers are going to do. Now, in my experience, 90% of drivers see me and need to slow down and move slightly over the center line to give themselves room to pass me. 9% of drivers are clueless, or worse, they're distracted. These drivers are why you must face traffic and take evasive action if necessary. Now, 1% of drivers, in my experience, are just plain dangerous, and you need to avoid them at all costs. Now, I've jumped to my left a few times to avoid getting hit in my life. It's not a fun experience. Thank God I saw and anticipated what was about to happen. The number 2 tip, be seen. Now, if you remember only 2 lessons from the safety list, the first one being to walk facing traffic, then you must wear reflective clothing and use a flashlight or headlamp when you're walking at night. 70% of all pedestrian fatalities happen at night. It all comes down to reaction time, and the drivers can't react to what they don't see. Now, wearing a reflective vest, this will save your life. Now think about how many times you've driven at night or been a pedestrian or been a passenger in the car, and you haven't seen the pedestrian to the very last moment. Now put yourself in the driver's seat. What will make it easier for you to be seen when you're walking? Okay. Next, carry and use a flashlight, or better yet, use a headlamp. Headlamps are now very common household items, and they're sold at all local hardware stores and big box stores. In the daytime, you should always wear bright clothing so that you can be seen by drivers. Now, many reflective vests are very lightweight. In fact, you can fold them up and put them into your pack, your hip pack, or carry them in a pocket. Same thing with the headlamps. They're very small. So if you start a walk late in the afternoon and you're feeling great, you get out there a little longer, now you're heading back home and it's darker, but it's always good to have these items with you. They will keep you safe and drivers will see you. Tip number 3, crossing safely at intersections is your responsibility. Don't assume vehicles will stop. Yes, I know that legally, when pedestrians are in the crosswalk, cars are supposed to stop. The operative word being supposed to. Let's face it, like we said earlier, drivers are distracted, obtuse, clueless. They're concerned about getting that parking spot just beyond the crosswalk, or any number of reasons why they are just not looking at you. The crosswalk laws do not mean a thing if you're hurled over the top of the hood of the car because you assume you had the right of way and the driver would yield to you. That's the number 2 cause of traffic fatalities. Be safe, be seen, and be smart. When crossing a street, make eye contact with the driver of the car. Give them a wave. Make sure they see and respond to you. Use the left, right, left rule. Look left, then right, then left again, as this is the side of the road. The cars will be approaching you. Also, watch for turning vehicles, especially if you're on the corner. If a driver cuts the corner too tight, you may find yourself under a tire. Number 4, walk single file on the road when you're with a partner. While walking side by side is a more natural thing to do, on the road this can only lead to trouble. You are much more exposed to the roadway, and when drivers come around a blind curve, this could give them and you less reaction time to avoid a collision. Number 5, be boring. What I mean by this is you should walk in a predictable manner. No sudden swerving into the roadway, no randomly waving your arms, especially if you're talking on the phone. I like to talk with my hands. And listen for tip number 18 from my cautionary tale. Number 6, walk defensively. Don't ever challenge a vehicle or assume the driver knows when you have the right of way. Also, err on the side of caution. The very size of a car negates all of the rights you have as a pedestrian. Number 7, carry identification and important medical information. On your smartphone, set up the in case of emergency contact information. This is where your phone is locked, but medical personnel can get to that part of your phone. The in case of emergency, it'll just get help to you more quickly. Number 8, don't walk alone at night if possible. Working full-time and getting home after the sunset, it's common in the wintertime. If you must walk at night, please take the following precautions, and this will be number 9 on our list. Keep in contact. When you are walking alone, let someone know where you'll be walking and when you expect to return. Let that person know when you have returned. This should develop into a habit and could get you valuable help to you if you miss placing that return call. Number 10, be alert. When walking near wooden areas, dense brush, doorways, courtyards, you need to be aware of your surroundings and any possible threats. Now let me tell you about my bonus content giveaway. Many of the safety tips come from my 4th walking book, the Walking Logbook Journal. As a gift for watching this video, click the link below to download 3 logbook pages and 3 insight pages to get a great feel for how this book can benefit your walking time. When I was searching online for a logbook to track my walking miles, I couldn't find one I liked. Many were considered low-content books, meaning they were just pages of grid lines that you could put your mileage in and your time. I decided to create the logbook I was looking for. My Walking Logbook Journal has what I call my weekly insight with walking, health, fitness, mindset, and nutrition tips. There is space for you to write your thoughts, a space to record words of wisdom, either your own or others' quotes. There is the logbook pages each week with room for notes, walking articles that include safety on the road, why you should track your vital signs, a place to enter your vital signs, and much more. So download my gift and also get my Get Out the Door checklist and my quarterly newsletter, Walking Inspiration. Thank you. Number 11, don't wear a lot of jewelry or carry cash. Be boring. Number 12, beware of strangers. It's unfortunate to even have to write this, but yeah, that's where we are in this world right now. It's always possible that you will draw unwanted attention of the criminal element. Walk in areas that have other walkers, runners, foot traffic, and cars, believe it or not. Acting alert and aware can convince a bad guy that they should move on. For added peace of mind, carry pepper spray or other protective devices. This is number 13, protection devices. Now, when I walk, I usually carry a small pepper spray clipped to my belt in case of a dog or human gets too aggressive for comfort. Also, walking sticks with a heavy handle can also be a deterrent to the criminal element. Now, a little history of walking sticks can be traced back to ancient times when humans used tree branches and twigs as a tool for support and protection. As time progressed, walking sticks became more sophisticated and decorative. In the Middle Ages, walking sticks were used as symbols of power and status by the aristocracy. Before carrying pepper spray, whenever I would go out for a hike in the woods, I would use an old one-iron golf club. Now, it was the perfect height to act as a walking cane or stick. It helped me balance on tough footing. I would hit rocks for fun, and it drew a lot of comments from other hikers. And also, I could swing it ferociously if I ever needed to protect myself. Now, thank goodness I never had to use it, but maybe I never had to use it because I was carrying it. Safety tip number 14, keep your earbud volume down. Listening to audiobooks or music while walking, it's a wonderful way to utilize your time, but keep the volume at a level when you can also hear your environment. You need to be aware of cars, kids, dogs, bicyclists, other factors in order to walk safely. You'll also thank yourself in years to come that you didn't blow your hearing out while trying to stay in shape. Now, a note on headphones, I love to walk and listen to motivational speakers, audiobooks, and music. I listen to some form of audio about 75% of the time that I'm walking. I like wired earbuds as they work better with my iPhone when I use the dictation function on my phone to record my notes and my thoughts. And I like earbuds that have a volume control on them so I can easily regulate the volume without having to get the phone out of my pocket, look down on it, and be distracted. Okay, so leads to number 15, avoid distracted walking. Hang up the phone. Stop talking, stop texting, stop playing games. If you look at your phone, you'll be less likely to anticipate any approaching trouble, whether it's a driver, a tripping hazard, a passing runner, approaching dogs, or more of concern, the potential criminals that view you as a distracted and easy target. Number 16, if you walk your dog, keep the leash short so the dog doesn't dart out unexpectedly into traffic or trip a runner or other walkers. Number 17, be aware of sun glare. Now, in late fall and early spring, during the morning hours, the sun is low in the horizon, setting up a situation on some roadways where drivers that are facing east are looking directly into the sun. Keep this in mind because during these brief periods of time, drivers can't see more than a few yards in front of their car. And when drivers face sun glare, they don't see anything else. It's so tough just to see the roadway ahead, and they can't anticipate pedestrians at the curbside ready to cross the road. Now, recently I had a situation where the sun glare combined with a wet roadway nearly blinded me from above the sun and from below the glare. It was so bad I couldn't see the crossing guard. He was in full neon green reflective gear in the middle of the roadway, directing traffic. So I stopped him and cautioned him about the sun glare because, like I said, I was right on top of him before I saw him. So be aware of sun glare. Think about, anticipate what a driver is facing. Number 18, watch and listen for runners. Runners should also follow these rules, which puts them going in the same direction as you, that's facing traffic. Listen for footsteps behind you so you are not suddenly startled by a passing runner. Now, this has happened to me a few times, and just recently, I was so startled by a woman runner coming up quickly behind me that my natural reaction was to jump sideways defensively with my hands up. I nearly hit her just because my arm flared out. So it would have been easy for her to just say she was passing on my right, but she didn't, and I got startled, and it could have been a bad situation had I hit her inadvertently. Number 19, watch and listen for bicyclists. Remember that bikes should be riding in the same direction as cars, so they will come up at you, but quietly. They're coming ahead. Okay, so pay attention while crossing streets, as once again, bikes will be coming at you from the same direction as cars. Think left, right, left when crossing, and remember, you can hear a car. Bicycles are hard to hear. Number 20, know your walking limits. Overexertion, heat illness, frostbite, dehydration, and other serious health issues could happen if you overdo it. Number 21, program 911 into your cell phone. Also, let someone know your plans, where you're walking, what time you will return, and make it a habit to contact that person upon your return. And number 22, weather considerations for walking, okay? Walking can be done in just about any weather conditions as long as you are prepared and properly dressed. There is a certain kind of satisfaction when I complete a walk in less than ideal weather conditions, but you must take precautions. When you walk in hot weather, know the heat index, which is the result of the combined effects of the temperature and the humidity of the air. You must carry water with you and know your limitations. when walking in cold weather. Wind and cold together make up the wind chill, so know the air temperature and wind chill index before going out to walk. The key when walking in cold weather is to dress as if it's 10 degrees warmer than the wind chill temperature. And when you're walking in the cold, make sure your outer shell, that outer layer of clothing, breaks the wind. There are many different materials that'll do that. I'll leave a link in the description to dressing in layers. It's a video that I did for my Walking for Health and Fitness YouTube channel. Now, don't forget to download the 3 weekly insights and logbook pages from my walking logbook journal. Also, I'll give you my Get Out the Door checklist and my quarterly newsletter, Walking for Health and Fitness, to get you off on the right foot walking for health and fitness. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, ring the bell, then check out my website, walkingforhealthandfitness.com. This is Frank. Walk on. Hey, this is Frank again for Walking for Health and Fitness. Check out the other videos that I have playing all around me here. Again, I've got some great content to get you on your way to better health and fitness through walking.